All right.
Thanks. All right, today is Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. Let's go down our usual release status. Starting with 119, I think we just have some docs updates left. I guess, Xing, did you update them and you're just waiting on me to review?
I think the webhook one that I already updated, right? Did you, I don't think you added more comments after that?
Yeah, I haven't taken a look yet.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah, the house monitor I haven't. I will update it soon.
Okay, thanks. And then I need to ping Jing on the CSI proxy stuff. I'm not sure if she's been able to make progress. So yeah, I think that's mostly it for 119. Moving on to 120. Let's see, Patrick, you have your deployment without central controller. I have not had a chance to take a look at this yet.
So current status is that I basically cleaned up the code that I had and posted it as a pull request, which currently works for me, has some documentation. Some of that documentation actually is generic. I ended up drawing a plant UML diagram showing how a volume gets provisioned and added that to the PR, because then in the next commit, I added documentation of how the modified scheme for distributed provisioning works, and it seemed relevant to have some way of putting that into context.
Okay, awesome.
So this might be something that if you like it, I can polish it and put it into a separate PR. Right now, I just put it there because I depend on that basically in the section on distributed provisioning. The PR doesn't have any tests at the moment. I'm testing by really deploying it and running something with PML CSI driver. But obviously, if you think that this has some merit, I'll complete the PR. But right now, I'm at the point where I'd like to get some feedback whether this is a suitable approach.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, this is on my plate to review. I'll try to get to it this week.
It contains the other PR that I have pending, the one with immediate topology, because other PRs would conflict otherwise. So the other one, just to complete that thought, is updated as you suggested with immediate topology as parameter name. So that one might be ready for merging.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Thank you very much. Next is switching to Klog v2.
Jan pointed out that CSI libutils, although it has Klog v2 in the master branch, still needs a proper release before we can import it into the other repositories. And
yep, that sounds good.
That's what you've been discussing with him, because you had another fix pending or plan for CSI libutils.
Yes.
I actually missed that external provisioner still uses the old CSI libutils. So the PR made the old Klog disappear from the GOMOD file, but when I looked closer at the external snapshotter PR that is also currently pending, I noticed that we still have the old CSI libutils also in external provisioner. So that one also needs to be updated once we have a release.
All right, sounds good.
So should we wait for this new fix in the libutils?
Yes, I think that would be good. I am asking Cheng to work on it right now, so I think within a day or two, he should have a PR out.
Okay.
I guess did I not link the issue here? There's a long-standing issue with leader election where sometimes if the API server is like restarting a lot or something, then leader election is never able to reconnect to the API server. I think we finally sort of found a cause for that, or at least we identified a workaround for that. And so I've asked Cheng to go implement the workaround. Where is that issue? Let's see. All right. So yeah, I think we'll want to have that fix in to CSI libutils. We may want to consider backporting it as well. I think we should also consider backporting the klog stuff because we made the switch already in released versions, right?
Yes, too many released versions that we maintain.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and on this, I guess one more item for me. I think I need to I signed up Deep to handle the Windows stuff, but I never told him I should do that. Okay, I will remember to do that. All right, moving on. There is. Oh yeah.
I just checked the last external provisioner release. That was still using Kubernetes 0.70 or 1.17. So that was before, well, actually, I'm not sure. That might still be on the old klog. At least I don't see it.
Okay. So I guess so I think the thing is any any release that has client go 118 or higher will have this problem.
Yeah, that's probably the critical release. But it looks like the older sidecars are still on the older client go. But yeah, we need to check.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so the next issue is making the pod info on mount field mutable. I think this is basically on me to review. We need to make sure that all the controllers that use this field can handle the fact that it's mutable. So that will be something we need to sort of run down the sequence with if we want to make this change. Let's see. Next is the performance tests. I think my last comment was to add a pod creation to the test so that we can support delayed binding. I'm not sure if Ronak has had a chance to look at this. It doesn't look like it. That's fine. I think Ronak is busy doing other tests.
Yeah, it's the other thing.
That's fine. This is more of like a nice to have, so it doesn't need
Okay.
to. It's fine if it doesn't make 120. The next bug fix is fixing the race condition between node unstage and delete volume. I think also this is sort of on the side burner while we're trying to get the FS group stuff done. So I don't think that is making much progress. Let's see. This one, Christian has a replacement PR out. Is that right?
Yes, I deleted it from the PR that need attention on today's meeting since I have membership to Kubernetes CSI and I can update the issue now.
Awesome, great. Okay, and is Hamad reviewing that one?
I reviewed the one that was, which one we're talking about, the one which was moving the feature to beta and dropping the validation. I reviewed that one.
Oh, sorry, the fix for the remove volume directory.
Christian, did you assign that to me?
I don't think I've assigned it to you. I can.
If you can assign it to me, I'll take a look today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Let's see. The next thing related to the orphan pod volume mount check. I pinged the author, but haven't heard back. So it's possible this one may slip again. We'll have to see. Next is Andy's change in node stage and publish. I guess, Jan, have you had a chance to look at this?
No, I didn't have time.
Okay.
I did not receive any notification on that PR. Did Andy update those changes that we suggested?
Well,
He added a comment saying he doesn't have time to do it. So he asked Jan to help.
Yeah, I have permission to push into his fork.
Okay.
So I can fix it, but again, it doesn't help much.
Jesus. Okay.
You can also, you know, fix the Azure migration stuff for Andy too, now that you have permissions.
Probably not.
All right. Next up is FS Group.
Yeah, so as far as my work goes on this, I combined the two PRs into one yesterday afternoon, and then I included SciCat's suggestion of making certain that the SetGID bit is set. So I created a subdirectory, putting the file inside there and ensuring that it has the correct FS group. So these should be one PR. Michelle, I believe most of your feedback is completed except for disabling the feature gate and testing with that. I don't know if it's necessary, but it hasn't been completed yet. And that should be the only outstanding issue right now.
Okay. Yeah, if you already pulled them into the same PR, then I think the test should already just be running.
Yes.
You can check the test logs to make sure that test case is actually getting run.
When I tested it locally, I don't manually introduce the feature gate, and it's running.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I can go ahead and take another look at it. And then let's see, on the metrics side, I believe we have a way forward. Is that right? We're just gonna make the fix, but then like keep the unit tests in a separate PR and potentially look at adding the unit tests in the next release so that we don't have to break the metrics right now.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Let's see, and then for the E2 test for FS group change policy, I think SciCat has started implementing it, so he should be able to have a PR out today or tomorrow.
For API change, I am working on it. I should have a PR out by today.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Next we have snapshots.
Yeah, snapshots. So I see that you just added comments for that ETU test for secrets. So yeah, I think the problem for secrets is you really don't have a way to check the capability, and it's no capability for that. It's optional, right?
Yeah, so I think it's better as like a mock driver test.
Yeah, you can ask him to move that. I think he should wait until Ronak has his PR merged, because Rona is adding that. Because right now the mock driver doesn't really have a snapshot in it. So wait until Ronak's PR in there. But I think it's the snapshot test is really not that critical anymore, because it's already, his test already demonstrated that those works in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he can move those in, and it's really both host pass and GCP, they don't support it anyway. So it's really not much.
Yeah, I guess the main thing is maybe can you have him just manually verify, like with the host path CSI driver, that the
it's already he has already the E2 test already demonstrated that, right? Basically, it's just that you need to check that annotation is added. That's the important thing. That once that's added, then that should be fine, right? So
I mean the main thing is to check that the CSI driver actually receives the create volume call with a secret passed in.
That I tested myself, right, already.
Okay.
So I don't really need him to test that functionality. It was a good. We thought it was like a required test, but I don't think this is really that important anymore. I mean, we already have tested that. I mean, even if we add the E2 test, it's not really going to do more than what he has already done, basically just to verify that the annotation is added to the content. That's the only thing that we
I
should
think,
try.
well, I think for the mock driver test, it would be good to also validate that the field got passed to the mock driver.
Okay, yeah, we can do that, but I would not mark this one as like a GA blocker anymore. Because the
Sure.
secrets is not really not really not even used by those entry test drivers. Yeah.
Well, I
So,
mean, I think it's
yeah.
used by other drivers. So
Yeah, but they
we
have
should
already.
make sure that it.
Yeah, Ceph. I know Ceph use that, right? So they have already, they already tested that. I also tested that. So I know
Okay.
that's it's working. Okay, so and then I think the Ronex test. I think there's somebody else is reviewing that right now. So I think that one is going well so far. I think just need to address the main comments. And then so now for this one, right? I know that, I think Chris still have a test. He has a stress test. I know that you have added some comments, and did he address that? I think he pushed another PR. I'm not sure
He
if
might have pushed something, but I
Okay.
haven't taken a look yet.
Okay, yeah, so I think one thing is the images are very old. I look at the failure because I think after you modify the test, I see that you couldn't pass, and I see that because there was a retries, and then takes like 6 minutes for the snapshot to be taken, but we time out at 5 minutes. So I asked him to change the image to the newer one, which we do requeue, which should retry faster.
Okay.
Because right now it always wait for the resync period, so that's longer. I don't know if the GCPD driver seems to be using its own special image, so I don't know if that's a problem if we just use this general image for 302.
We have not. Is the fix in 302 or is it in an earlier 3.0?
The fix is in earlier. It's in 300 should have that
Well,
already.
I think either way, for these entry tests, we don't need to use the special GKE images. We can just use the published ones in the Kate's GCR. I think that should be fine.
Okay. Because otherwise we need to increase the timeout if it takes that long. But it's actually did create the snapshot. I see that, at least for that one particular failure. Yeah. Okay, so those are the tests, right? So those are the three most important ones. And then I think Grant's PR, I think both myself and Shang-Qian are reviewing his metrics change. I think he said he's going to submit a work in progress ET test for that one. So I'll ping him on that. For the API change, so how are we going to do with this, right? So now we are saying so I break that out into the change, the PRs in external provision, external snapshotter. So I have one PR that does not have the controller change, only the API change. So when can we get that one in? Because we need to get that one in first, then we can update the release tools and everything. And so can we get that one merged first, you think? Or
yes.
What? Okay, all right, that's good.
Yes, yes, we should. And I think it's important to get it merged separately because we want to make sure that, existing users of V1 beta will continue to function even after people start consuming the V1 APIs. So I think having those SKUs is important.
Okay, yeah. So that passed all the tests. So that's
good. Sure.
So do you want to take a look, or should we just ask Shang-Qian to merge it, or how do you want to do with that
has Shang-Qian already reviewed it?
He has already reviewed it, yeah.
Okay, I think we can just ask maybe me or Saad to just give a final look as an API reviewer, and then once that looks okay, then we can merge it.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Then probably I probably want to bug you today because I think we're running out of time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
because Xiangqian
sounds good.
doesn't really have much. It's very minor comments. He already reviewed several times. So yeah, I'm going to bug you today to to review that. And then
Okay.
and then for the
Oh.
intro. Huh?
Sorry, one question.
Yeah.
Were you, with this PR that adds the V1 APIs, were you able to test like creating the V1 API object and have it go through the validation webhook that's configured to use V1 beta 1?
Right. Yes, that was the original one that I tested. Right, I tested that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tested the upgrade. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So manual, yeah, that's manual test. I did test the webhook manually. And then this entry one, the entry PR is the one that actually has to make the deadline, right? Do you, for that one to be merged, what are the things that we need to do for that one to be merged? So I was trying to do this the work in progress PR, this test snapshot is just to trying to get the image changed, like my own. Basically, it's like on my PR. You still require that one, or I mean, I'm still having problem with those image repos. I need to pin you on that, or so what are the requirements for us to merge this the feature gate one? This is the key.
I think it's I think it's basically we need to make sure all the other changes that we need are in, right, and tested. So like the V1 API, and also we have all the other graduation criteria like metrics and scalability and things like that. We need to make sure we have all those in place.
Okay, yeah, so the metrics, I think it's coming along. Just need to finish up the reviews, and then the scalability, that's mainly the stress test by Chris, I guess. Right? Yeah, I think so Ronax test helps a little bit as well. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to pin Xiangqian again, also pin you to review the external snapshotter API change. Yeah, that one we need to get in first, otherwise everything is blocked.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. Next is data populators. Is Ben here? Nope. All right. Volume expansion.
I need to ping KK about the PVC being deleted by resize spending. He took the ownership of that task, and I'll find out what the status of is that. And then other thing that I wanted to update my redirect menu, but I have not had a chance to update that yet. Like that PR, it's already there. I just need to update and refactor it. So I'll try and get that in. And then the other things are like the design items for this quarter. So I haven't made a lot of progress yet, but once I think this FS group and other things are off my plate, I can make progress on those design things.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Next, we have volume health.
Volume health, I think we're still working on adding list volumes in the host path driver. I think the person working on that running into some, I think he has some deployment issues, not really with the code changes. So I think he's still trying to sort it out. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I have for that.
Okay, thanks for the update. Next, we have storage capacity and ephemeral volumes. Hi, Patrick, are you there?
I'm here. I was a bit distracted. So I've set up a meeting. I set up the doodle. I had some good responses on the timing of a call. I created a meeting invite today for discussing how to proceed with CSI ephemeral volumes and generic ephemeral volumes. Mostly, the question is around the API. My proposal, and I put that into the agenda, is actually to just keep the CSI ephemeral volumes API as it is and simplify the one for generic ephemeral volumes a bit, because I don't see that we get any benefit from having these two levels in the API that we currently have. That's kind of what I'm going to propose in that meeting. If someone else thinks that we need a different API, some more fundamental changes, it would be good to have a proposal perhaps at least thought out so that we don't end up with a meeting where everyone just says, well, this doesn't look right, but I don't know what to do better about it. That's the current status. It would be nice to have some specific outcome in that meeting. That's what I'm hoping.
Yep, I agree. All right, sounds good. Thanks for organizing.
I just saw an email. Just to note, I saw an email on the SIG storage list that the time is missing from the meeting invite. I'm not
Oh, it
sure.
is?
It shouldn't be. I see it when I look at the mail that was sent out by.
When was it again?
I set up a meeting today and copied you and some of folks directly, and I also copied the mailing list.
Yeah, I mean, what was the date? Was it for tomorrow?
No, next week.
Oh, next week.
On Monday 9th, 8 p.m. In the Central European time.
Let's see. Yeah, it's on my calendar and there's a time. Interesting.
Yeah, and I see it on the SIG storage mailing list with the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's perhaps just the one person who has a problem. Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad it works for you. Good.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, and then going on to other things that are sort of on the list, but probably are not going to make it. I think first an issue came up today regarding creating in-tree PVC with a data source, and we don't block that at all. So that's probably a bug fix that we'll need to look into fixing. I think this one just came up today, but I guess
So I was
we'll
wondering,
have to
like,
find. Yeah.
Was he able to? I didn't read. I was in meeting. So was he able to actually create a snapshot with what driver was he using?
So he's using. So he created a snapshot with the
what?
CSI
Which driver? Which driver? Which
the
CSI?
PD
Oh, okay.
CSI driver, and it was
Okay.
successful. But then when he went to restore it, he forgot to put the CSI storage class in the PVC.
Oh, okay.
So it was using the default storage class instead, which is the in-tree driver.
In-tree host path driver?
No, the in-tree PD driver.
Oh, in-tree PD driver.
And
okay.
Yeah, and like we don't now PV controller doesn't check for the data source field.
But it should fail, right? Because at that time it should fail.
Yeah.
Because we do check the different drivers.
Yeah, so it fails if the driver was the wrong CSI driver, because that check is done in external provisioner. But for in-tree drivers, we don't use external provisioner, and we're not checking. So it just proceeded. So I think this bug is about.
Oh, to create the empty volume after that?
Yeah,
oh, that's funny.
Created an empty volume. Yeah.
That's not good, actually.
Yeah. So this will impact any driver that has both a in-tree and a CSI driver.
Yeah, it's not really just snapshot. The clone as well.
Yeah, cloning is also impacted. Maybe data populators is also impacted.
Yeah,
so
everything that is okay. Yeah, so we should just set the check to just block them all. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Xing, would you be able to find someone to help work on this?
Yeah.
I think since this is a bug fix, I think we could potentially get this in after code freeze, so we don't have
that'll
to
be better. Otherwise, it's like there's too many things going on right now.
Yeah, and we might actually want to backport this to previous
it makes sense.
versions to fix. All right, great, thank you. And then I think there's the various other changes going on. I think Patrick, you're looking at some scalability related changes. And then
for core Kubernetes, I think the most promising approach is to just increase the QPS and burst settings of the kube controller manager. This is already possible using existing command line arguments. The uncertain part, for me at least, is whether the defaults should really be as low as they are at the moment. I suspect many people will just create a default cluster with kubeadm and will not change the defaults, and then they get really low volume creation rates of something like 5 or 6 volumes per second for the entire cluster.
This is something maybe worth bringing up with SIG scalability, because I believe they run scalability tests using defaults. I don't think they changed the default QPS, but this would be good to maybe bring up at their next meeting.
Yeah, is it SIG scalability or SIG architecture? Because the fundamental question is whether the kube controller manager really should have one setting, for example, for all controllers. If the defaults are fine for the other controllers and it's just the volume PV controller which needs higher values, shouldn't that be possible to configure separately? I raised that question on SIG architecture to get some opinion, but got no response there. I can also, of course, try SIG scalability, but if that is a more appropriate forum, I just wasn't sure.
I would probably start with SIG scalability first.
Okay.
And they're all based in Europe, so time zones will match very well, I think. But yeah, I think it would be good to maybe pop into one of their meetings and bring this up.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Next up is volume attachment stuff. So I think there's a couple problems. I think this first one here is when there's a ungraceful shutdown. I don't think we're going to make much progress on that in the 120 timeframe. But the other issue is the dangling volume stuff. Right now, I'm asking Jay to look at implementing a fix for the dangling volume race condition, and I don't think he's been able to start it yet, so I doubt it's going to make 120, and we'll probably have to target 121 for that. There's also work. I think this garbage collection thing is closely related to the dangling volume issue. So I think both of them would be fixed together, but probably targeting 121 instead.
So I'm starting to look at the node shutdown, the ungraceful shutdown, the cap. I was trying to talk to the person who was working on that cap, just to understand, why they come up with that design. It's actually team was actually involved in that design, so I just want to understand more. Like the approach seems to be very specific to our cloud provider. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it would be good to follow up on that. I guess if you have the link to that, can you post it somewhere?
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can add it to one of the to-dos or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see, moving back up, we have restoring a snapshot to a larger size. Did we ever conclude on this?
I have a proof of concept of changing the driver, and on the next CSI community meeting, we should discuss the result, if it is acceptable for the driver authors or not.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, and then also more items from our image publishing stuff. We still have an item to repush Canary images periodically. I have not been able. Oh, go ahead.
I have created one job that does that tentatively for the CSI driver host path. and it's a periodic job. I shot myself in the foot, I guess, a little bit by making it run only once per week. It ran once, I found an issue, and now I have it fixed, but I'm still waiting for it to run again, I guess, beginning of next week, to see whether the fix works. But bottom line is,
it should be possible to manually trigger the jobs.
how for a periodic job? I know how to do it with a test job, but not for periodic.
At least for, let's see, I've manually retriggered like post-submit jobs before.
Okay.
I think it should be possible to manually rerun, but I don't think it's very well documented. I definitely had to ask someone in SIG testing how to do it. There's like some magic buttons that you can press.
Okay, perhaps it is in the job, in the web UI.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in Tide somewhere. And of course, this doesn't autocomplete. Is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it currently shows up in our test grid. It's under CSI. There's a SIG storage image build. There is one called Canary CSI driver host path push images. It's as I said, it's currently one test manually created for just this one repository. But if that works, I'll update it so that the same job gets generated for the other components too. I can try whether I can restart that job or whether perhaps I just wait until next Monday or so.
Okay.
Whatever
Sounds good.
is easier.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. And then I guess the last piece of cleanup is to eventually remove the Travis stuff. But actually, I realize we still need the Travis things to do patch releases on older branches that are not using the cloud build stuff. So we might still need to keep Travis around for a little longer. And then I think that should be mostly it. There's a couple of other random issues that we're probably not going to get to. All right. Are there any other topics? I think some of the items from last time are still pending. So that's fine. All right. Then we will end the meeting for today. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.